Welcome back, folks. We got another Beaten 42 episode going into round 9. I'm gutted, and I'm just absolutely peeved with the way that the Titans played. But before we get into that, just want to welcome Beeb from over in Indo. How are you, mate?
Good, buddy. Good. Glad to see you again. So, yeah, the Titans, a bit disappointing, eh? Got off to a great start and then folded like a $2 hat.
Yeah, well, exactly like the coach said, a team of under-20s where all we're interested in is having the ball. We have no interest in defense. And to be honest, it is just super embarrassing. This is the Titans team that has played for the last few years. And quite frankly, we're going to lose a lot of supporters if this is what happens next week.
Yeah, well, I'm not sure how many of the 25 will drop off the Titans, but you might lose a couple of supporters. But the most disappointing thing is you lost to the Broncos, right? The first win from against any team over the last year. So, embarrassing, especially losing to those bunch of misfits.
Yeah. Look, agree. And look, I'm just going to move on because I was super bitter and really didn't watch any more footy after that game. So maybe you can tell me what happened with the Dragons this week as well, mate.
Yeah, so speaking of losing to misfits, Dragons got towed up by the Tigers. 16-8, I think the final score was, but seriously, never looked in it. Right? It was just poor performance by the Dragons. Couldn't catch the ball, couldn't hold on to it, and deserved to get pummeled. So anyway, another week, we move on in footy.
Yeah, we do, mate. And look, there's a few people that won't be moving on this week, and there's been a horrendous injury toll during the league this week, and majority for the Roosters. I'm just going to rattle off a couple. BMOS, Collins, Verrills, Lomax, Ramsey, Williams. I mean, that's a big week of names that fall out. So how do these teams recover?
Yeah, well, how can the Roosters, right? But they seem to come up with a pretty decent team every week, right? So it's sad for BMOS, right? He's been a fantastic winger. 2010, my brother made a lot of money out of BMOS' first try scorer. He was just on fire for the Dragons, right? So felt sorry for BMOS. He's always a Dragon in my mind. But as for the rest of them, Sammy Verrills, well, I probably would have poked him in the eye after that Anzac Day game too. So, and as for the rest of them, well,
You're a fucking asshole. Anyway, play on. Six again. It's again.
That's right. Poke him in the eye again. Poke him in the other eye. Look, big week of injuries, but the Roosters, their team this week looks pretty good still, right? So they're still, can they win the comp? No, they can't win the comp, right? But, every time in the last few weeks they've lost someone, I've gone, yeah, they're going to lose, and they still keep finding a way to win. So they're going to be in the 8, and they're going to contend, but I just don't see them being able to keep pace certainly with the Panthers and the Storm and the Rabbits.
Yeah, well, they are dropping out of that elite class, but the likes of Sammy Walker has just absolutely carried them. You got to think,
what?
That cupboard's got to run a little bit dry though. They keep finding somebody.
At some stage, he's going to get smashed too.
Yeah.
Right? I just can't believe they haven't found a way to run at him yet. So he seems a pretty decent defender, but he just doesn't have the body to be able to take on I expected Tarek Sims to go after him on Anzac Day, right? Like he did with Cronk a few years ago, but it just didn't happen. So kid's either too elusive or teams coming up against him have been a bit soft, and we'll see what happens in the coming weeks, right?
Exactly.
See what happens this week. Yeah.
And look, let's be honest, Alan Langer had a pretty good career, and he was 79 kilos ringing wet. So, so size may not be a dictating factor in this anymore, but I agree. And the other interesting stuff's going on down in Melbourne. So there's a bunch of players who are waiting to sign on again based on Bellamy's decision.
Be in a pretty good position if you're Bellamy, right? You know, when you talk about the leverage you've got over a club, they can't let you go, because if you go, then there's a risk that Paps will sign somewhere else, or Coates won't come to Melbourne. You know, Harry Grant will leave, whatever it is, right? You know, so he's just got them over a barrel, right? You know, so unlimited check for Bellamy, I think, right? So why wouldn't you re-sign him? The guy is just genius.
Yep, and I agree. I just say pay him whatever he wants.
Yep.
Carry on, get the team that you need to be there. So, and look, lastly, before we wrap up, this is there's becoming a gap between the elite teams and the teams that are struggling. So with the 4 or 5 teams that are going well, who actually can win the comp?
Yeah, well, you know, the 5 teams who've got a split between them and the rest of the comp, you got to think they're the 5 who'll go on with it. I think the Roosters will come back, right? So they'll get caught in the back in a few weeks' time, but, you know, I mean, their outs it'll catch up with them, right? You know, so I would say they'll drop out of the top 4 and they'll drop to 5th. And then it'll become Panthers, Storm, Rabbits, and Eels as to who can win the comp. Yeah. How good do those Panthers look right now? Unbelievable.
Well, eggs on my face, my friend, because Panthers was a team that I'd picked to be in just struggling to make the 8. I couldn't believe that they could back it up, but they're shown to be the class team of the comp right now.
No, they're much better than they were.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. And my call on Jerome Luai, it's the one thing I want to take back. He can play.
Yep.
Doesn't mean I like him.
And he can and he can sing a great Boys to Men song, right? You know, if there ever was a great Boys to Men song, he can sing it.
Well, and isn't that just a feather to your bow? Like, wow,
just unbelievable. The things I'd be proud of if I was his mother.
That's right. Other than the $1 million he's going to earn in the next year.
Yeah, good for him, right? You know, so yeah.
So, all righty, mate. Well, we'll leave it there, and we'll wrap it up, and we'll talk to you soon.
All right, brother. Take care. Enjoy your footy. Peace out.